With my company, what we do is we do both forms of marketing. So all the things that you just mentioned just now, I place that in new school marketing.
Yeah.
That's new school. But what's so funny now is that everybody acts as if the old school marketing, like that doesn't work anymore.
Facts, 100%.
And it's so interesting to me because it's the cheat code. Because in that space, I tell people that's the old school marketing. And what old school marketing is, it's the business techniques that people were using when the Bible was written. You know what I mean? People had businesses for 2,000 years now, right? So how did the guy in Jerusalem or whatever, you know what I'm saying, the Bible, get you to come and buy, I don't know, lambs from him or something, right? He probably had a sign. He probably made sure that he did things a certain way. He probably went out and maybe, who knows, gave people some samples or whatever it was, right? And so why would you negate that when it works? And so what I find is that these days, people, first of all, are lazy, right? You hear that across the board.
Yeah.
So anybody can do new school marketing. I can do new school marketing and I do it. I pay someone to do that stuff. I'm not a tech guy.
Yeah.
I didn't go to school. I'm not trained in IT. I don't know how to code. None of that stuff. It's not a good use of my time either to sit there and be just scanning metrics on digital marketing that I could pay someone to do that.
That knows how to do that well.
Yeah, and then use my time to do other things that I can control. And what people don't realize, and I don't have any problem telling you guys this because you're not going to do it, is that the guerrilla marketing is where everybody is still at.
Yeah.
The guerrilla marketing is personal marketing to people and communities.
Okay.
It's aggressive and it's basically shoving your message down people's throat and they can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
You're either going to buy or you're not going to buy.
So give us some examples.
So, this is really kind of things that I developed when I started doing all this stuff at Howard University.
Okay.
You know, and I stumbled upon it. So I started doing parties and I started attracting attention just throwing parties in my dorm. And then a larger promoter was like, well, I think I ruined one of his parties one night.
Because everybody can hear joint, not
yeah.
joint.
And he was like, who's this Carlton guy? And they were like, there's some guy looking for you, asking all these people. And so I was like, okay, met the guy. He's like, I want you to come work with me now. And so it just started with hand-to-hand
combat,
passing out flyers, doing this, doing that. And I really liked that kind of work because I could control moving large amounts of people to go to these places and I was getting paid and I was having fun at the same time. And so then I took it to a more extreme level and then I got introduced to the music side of it. And so at that time, if you're in Boston, if you're in the Northeast, you know, you would go down the street and you see light poles and everything.
Yeah, the raps.
All the way to the top, you know, Diddy's next album, Biggie, whatever. So I was the kid out there.
Yeah, the wheat paste joints.
All that.
Yeah.
So I was out there, I was the kid, 2 a.m. in the morning.
He was doing that?
staple, hide from the cops, doing that.
Yeah.
And then I would always take it even farther. So I would go and spray paint stencils all over the city.
Those are dope, though.
You know?
You'd be walking around, he was like, oh, Nas album. You know what I'm saying?
But I was like, screw Nas's album, Carlton's party.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I was just learning all these different techniques and they worked. And what I realized is that at nighttime, you know, you're out there 1 a.m. in the morning, no one else is out there, right? And so when someone else would have an event, we'd be out there not leaving it to chance. We're controlling the outcome of the marketing because we're not leaving anything to chance. And so we're going to cover flyers. We're going to cover now it'd be text. We're going to put stuff in the trees. We're going to put stuff on the ground. We're going to maybe do a little bit of vandalism back then. I was in my 20s. I didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it took.
You can still get away with that stuff now?
I can't with my brand, and I can't encourage it, but you could.
Yeah,
you could, especially when you're young and you have nothing to lose. That's the thing, and that should be your attitude when you're marketing up into the point where you have something to lose.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything to lose, market your ass off. Deal with the consequences later. If you have something to lose, that means it's working, and let's back off. The things that are on the edge or whatever, and that's what we did. And so when I was in school, that was the approach. And then I noticed that when I had parties and groups of people, then you're able to leverage that into whatever you want because the group of people is there.
You got the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my parents, they wanted me to get out of that. They were like, this is not what you came to school for. You got to get out. And so I kind of reluctantly just gave all that stuff up. But then when I went into corporate America and I was challenged to meet my goals, I was like, well, how am I going to meet my goals? So I would just start doing the same type of events, but at my bank. You know, I was in banking, you know. I would they look different, but I was hyper social. I was able to attack, you know, Chamber of Commerce's, different groups, gather people around. It was all the same concept. And I was like, wow, so now I'm hitting my goals. I'm bringing all the business to me.
And it's different now because I assume that a lot of people that might have been coworkers or even competitors in the space, they wasn't doing anything like that.
They weren't.
In that type of category, in that type of space. I'm assuming. No,
not at all, because most people, I guess, didn't have that skill set per se. Most people are afraid to put themselves out there. Most people are so concerned, well, what if it doesn't work, which is a big concern, but that's why you put the work in so that it always works. And a lot of people, it's just unorthodox. And so, but also at the end of the day, what it really boils down to with this type of marketing is guerrilla marketing takes you getting up and actually doing something, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's, you know, even in our business now, there might be a week where I'm going to 5 nights in a row of events. I don't feel like doing it, but we do it. Why? Because you won't do it. You won't do it.
I like it.
Even though I'm telling you guys this right now, what to do and that it works, it takes work and you won't do it. And so I know that this space is wide open for me.
Yeah.
And anybody who does want to enter that space, I have the utmost respect for them and we can have friendly competition, but they just won't do it.
Yeah.
You know, so basically what you said in the intro is all these new techniques, they're out there. Some of them work, some of them don't. Some of you have to have really big budgets, but you get to control guerrilla marketing because guerrilla marketing is fueled and generated by your energy and your resources. And so guerrilla marketing is anything creative you can do in an aggressive manner to drive business and to drive awareness and attention to your product or service or your brand.